Aiden Purdue will lead this 20-car field into turns 3 and 4, looking for the green flag off of turn number 4, and we're underway here at the Kokomo Speedway.
Good start for James Edens. He'll lead him down into turn number 1 and 2, almost 4 wide now in position 1 through 4 as Aiden Purdue, who'll pull alongside James Edens. He'll try to slide up for the race lead. Who's going to lead lap number 1? Give it to the 52 of James Edens.
Yep, Edens leads lap 1. Purdue back to the bottom of the racetrack as Edens' teammate Adam Elby in the background trying to go 3 wide for that 3rd spot. The 74 car through the middle, the 211 of Alex Smulders down low, and the 1 of 31 of Bobby Sant Jr. up on the top side of the racetrack. The battle for the 3rd spot's already getting good here.
Yeah, Sant Jr. still railing it on the top shelf of the racetrack as the 211 of Smulders down there side by side for position number 3. As Aiden Purdue, he's still hanging right there tough with the 52 of Edens on the bottom as well, as these drivers are going to approach the lap traffic very, very quickly already.
Aiden Purdue looks very, very good right now. I know he's got a lot of laps left, and he's got some time. He's sticking right there with the 52 car. James Edens, if any mistakes happen out of that Swindell Speed Live Esports number 52 car. Now Purdue with some pressure from behind the 131 of Bobby Sant Jr. That's the Jim Beaver Esports car. As Bobby Sant's all over the 37 of Purdue now for the 2nd spot. He looks to the inside off turn 4, but Purdue with momentum will hang on to the 2nd spot for now.
Yeah, this may be the strongest as Bobby Sant Jr. has been all season long as he pulls alongside Aiden Purdue once again down the back straightaway, trying to take over that position number 2 to try to run down James Edens for a possible race win as we come around to complete lap number 6, so 24 laps to go.
Yeah, lap traffic actually might play a factor in this one. Your leader is already on the same straightaway as the 057 of Anthony Lepresto. That would be the first time all season long that we've seen these drivers have to deal with lap traffic, and we're only on lap number 8, so still 22 laps to go, and your leaders are already coming up to the back of the field.
Yeah, still all 20 cars still out there on the racetrack. It's Lepresto and Kokomo right in front of your race leaders. They probably had some problems on the start, but they're still out there running around trying to gain as many points as possible. But James Edens, he's pulling away from the 37 of Aiden Purdue, trying to pick up the win as we got a caution out on the racetrack.
Yep, caution is out. I'm trying to look back and see if I can find who it was. I believe it was somebody in the mid-pack here. So it sounds like possibly just a quick 360 out of one of the drivers, which drew the caution there. So just a quick yellow here on lap number 9, and we should be able to just get these guys lined back up real quick. And that's a good sign right there for these guys that were coming from the back there, Tommy. They were getting pretty spread out there at the front. They were already pulling away by a large margin there, and that's going to bring them right back in here. Those guys I mentioned coming from the back of the field there, they were trying to win this thing. They're going to be right back up there with those top guys.
Yeah, you're not really seeing a bunch of big movers right now. These guys up front trying to hold it down as James Edens and Purdue is still 1 and 2. Bobby Sant Jr. started 3rd, still hanging on to 3rd. And biggest movers right now, a couple of drivers from Alex Smulders from 7th to 4th, Joe Berkeley from 11th to 8th. But really nobody gaining a whole lot of ground early on in the race. We still got a long, long way to go, though.
And it sounds like Trey Schmidt was the cause of the caution there on lap number 9. David Heilman, if you're wondering about him, 14th up to 10th right now for him. Everybody else really, only gaining about 2 or 3 spots early on in this one. So it looks like we're going back green. James Edens will lead the field back down, followed by Aiden Purdue, Bobby Sant Jr., Alex Smulders, and Adam Elby as they work through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, these drivers are working the bottom of the racetrack right now. Top shelf seems to may not be in play right now as James Edens, he slides back up there. Aiden Purdue trying to hang on to 2nd. And we now see Alex Smulders. He's down there on the bottom of the racetrack trying to play with the tires to make a move on Sant Jr.
The guy I'm watching right now there, Tommy, is the 9 car of Joel Berkeley. He's up there right next to the wall while the rest of these guys work through the middle, at least down in 1 and 2. Berkeley's up on the wall throughout the entire racetrack right here. He gets by Justin Thomas, and now is working on the 98 car, James Tiernan. Oh, and Berkeley pounces off the wall right there, and he's going to lose a little bit of ground. He actually loses the spot to Justin Thomas right there.
David Heilman right there in position number 9, bob a little bit right there. He's fall back to position number 10, was right there running for 6th, 7th, and 8th spot with Joel Berkeley, but now finds himself falling back a little bit as the battle heating up for the race lead once again. Here comes the 37 of Aiden Purdue and the 211 of Alex Smulders knocking on the door.
The 211 of Alex Smulders down low, man. Absolutely barely running that thing on the throttle right now. Pulls up next to Purdue, and now Smulders. Oh, the caution comes out. Didn't see that one right there. Caution comes out, the 211. Wow, he was rolling, and it looks like the yellow comes out for the 9 car of Joel Berkeley. Ooh, big time into the turn 3 wall. Helicopters around a couple times and knocks the rear end out of that thing, and that's going to be the end of the night for Joel Berkeley.
Yeah, he was playing with fire up there, running the cushion here down the back straightaway, and gets into that outside wall in the back straightaway, and around he goes. A lot of damage to that race car. That's pretty much going to ruin his night here. As Berkeley, he's had run of bad luck. He was running second in the points coming into last week. Didn't make the transfer spot, and now finds himself towards the back of the field with a currently sitting in dead last right now in the main event. And that's probably where he'll end up.
Yeah, not good for Berkeley. He came into tonight 4th in the point standings. Cole Kubrave, surprisingly, still only in the 17th spot, your third place driver in the points. Really not looking too good. It's really James Edens that's really having a good night, as it looks like we are getting ready to go back green. Edens and Heilemann, the only 2 drivers in the top 10 in point, or the top 5 in points that are up there in the top 10. As we go back green, Edens leads them back down. Purdue right there in his back pocket.
Yeah, Alex Smolders, he's going to dive back down to the bottom once again to try to get that great run. He'll pull alongside Aiden Purdue into turn number 3, almost 3 wide for the race lead once again, as Eden still working the outside of the racetrack trying to power back around.
And I think that's going to be the downfall of James Edens right here. The bottom of the racetrack looks very good. The 211 of Alex Smolders keeping that left rear tire down the moisture, nearly gets the tire right there, pulls up next to James Edens as we work down. Only 8 laps to go in this one, and here comes the 211.
Yeah, almost got the tire once again right there at turn number 1 and 2. Had to let off the gas just a little bit. Still got the momentum down there. Now he gets the tire, and that'll cost him big time. Oh,
man, and that's exactly what James Edens was wanting to see right there. He pulls out to a large lead as there's contact for third between the 211 of Smolders and the 131 of Bobby Sand Jr. Look who comes into the mix, the 49 car. David Heilemann's into the top 5.
From out of nowhere, David Heilemann up to 5th, looking for more. Going to pull alongside the 211 of Alex Smolders for position number 3. He's got the 14 of Alex Bergeron attached to his bumper as well, trying to pull him along for the ride. As Bergeron will pass them both for 3rd, coming down to complete lap number 25.
This is not going to end well, Tommy. My goodness, the 49 and the 14 car going at it down on the bottom. There's only 2 groups of racing on this racetrack with how they're going right now. Heilemann misses the bottom off turn number 4, and Bergeron pulls up next to it. Now Bergeron's up to 3rd with just 3 laps to go.
James Edens has got to love what he's seeing in his rearview mirror if he is running one. As Bergeron, he'll pull up to position number 3. Now Heilemann, he'll take it to the top shelf of the racetrack to try to get a run on Bobby Sand Jr. And we're coming to do believe it'll be 2 laps to go next time by a lot of contact between 2nd through 5.
Yeah, big contact between Alex Bergeron and Aiden Purdue right there. That'll put the 14 up to 2nd. But now Heilemann, the Heilemaniac up top, he's going to take 2nd, possibly at the line. Nope, he's still in the 3rd spot. 2 laps to go up front for James Edens. You can pretty much write the check to the 52 car as Heilemann and the yellow's going to come out, which will end tonight's race. We've got 1 car upside down, and it's the 5K of Rusty Kruger down in turns 1 and 2. He will bring out the caution, in which will end this race under caution. The 2nd time we've seen that here at Kokomo.
Oh my goodness, the action that we were seeing for the battle on for 2nd was just absolutely phenomenal. Alex Bergeron, he will be scored in 2nd, David Heilemann 3rd, Aiden Purdue 4th, and Alex Smolders hanging on to a top 5 as they work the white flag lap under caution. It'll be James Edens picking up his 2nd win in a row. Not going to gain that many points as David Heilemann. He's gonna make some ground up on him from the heat race and come home with a top 3 finish once again.
This is the original eSport racing game. This is iRacing.
Good evening and welcome to the 7th round of the USAC World Championship Series presented by Flow Racing here at the Williams Grove Speedway. It's going to be your usual crew, myself, Randy Cheneth, Chase Rodman, Tommy Rowe, and Hugo Louis, bringing you all the action on this one. And Chase, this is a very unique round of the championship. The only half-mile dirt oval that we have that really has this paperclip style shape to it, very long straights, very tight corners, a very unique track on the championship. And it's going to be an interesting challenge for these drivers getting around this iconic racetrack in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we mentioned it quite a few times last week, at the end of the feature event during the interviews and kind of a little bit at the beginning of the broadcast like last week as well. But I think this is the biggest monkey wrench in these guys' schedule right here is this Williams Grove Speedway. Super long straightaways, super wide corners, and once it gets slick, man, it really develops two groups of racing. You'll have guys right down there on the inside line and guys up there on the cushion. In 1 and 2, it gets up to the middle part of the racetrack, but down in 3 and 4, it'll get right next to that guardrail. So it should be interesting to see here tonight. And we got a guy that we talked about it there before the broadcast, Randy. Alex Bergeron, man. He won with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars here in that World Championship and with the late models. So we'll see if he can do it again here tonight.
And that's going to be the thing that's interesting for Bergeron here, Tommy, as we take a look at the point standings. And David Heilemann has just checked out. 24 points, though, between second and third in the points. And Cole Cabre only 30 points back. They're sitting in P4. That this racetrack, like Chase just mentioned, it can get very top-heavy and can get very bottom-heavy and fluctuate back and forth kind of wildly. We've seen it pretty much both world championships that have come here thus far. We've seen the top be quick in some of the races, and we've seen the bottom be quick in some of the races, and that's where Alex won his race. And Alex has been very, very good on the bottom. So if this ends up being a very bottom-heavy racetrack for these cars, that 14, in Bergeron could be the car to beat here tonight.
Yeah, Bergeron's very tough here at the Williams Grove Speedway, but definitely anybody can win this race. This racetrack will develop quite multiple grooves like Chase just mentioned. Should be very, very fun here to watch. We got a great battle for that second place runner-up spot in the points coming into tonight. Bergeron sitting in third right now. A big $2,000 difference between second and third. $3,000 cash and $1,000 cash for these drivers coming in. Only 3 races left to go.
Yeah, and of course, there's a big deficit there, P3, P4 as well. P3, you earn cash money in the championship. P4, you get iRacing credits, which are nice, but everyone wants that championship money at the end of the year. And talking a little bit more about this, Chase, about that dominating performance David Heilemann's been able to put in this year. 84 points is the max every single week, as I believe we're riding on board with Hunter Connolly as he ripped the back straightaway. No, that's Bobby Sant Jr. who's out there on the racetrack. I apologize. As he heads off in towards 3 and 4. We're very, very close to David Heilemann being able to put this championship away tonight. 84 points is the max you can get. If he can come out of here with a 168-point differential over P2, he's got the championship wrapped up.
Yeah, it's a very interesting stat there, but, it's not going to be easy for him. James Eden's the guy that's right there in that second spot in the point standings. He and his Swindell Speed Lab Esports team have been very good. He's won the last 2 main events in a row, going back to, I believe, he won Kokomo last week. I can't remember what the race was before. I think it was Knoxville that he won. He's been the winner the last 2 weeks, and he's definitely putting the pressure on David Heilemann and keeping him honest, as you say a lot of times, Randy, making sure that 49 car is doing his job right, and he's not, messing around and just trying to run for these, a mid-pack spot, but he's keeping David Heilemann honest, and it's fun to watch here as James, he's pretty good this Williams Grove Speedway. He's been good in some of the other world championships as well, so I believe he'll be putting on a show here tonight as well.
He's out there starting his qualifying lap. We saw David Heilemann earlier this year in this championship win 3 races in a row. This is the 52 of James Eden's opportunity to do the same and match the record that David set, because no driver besides David Heilemann has won 3 races in a row in any of these Dirt Oval World Championships. First qualifying lap for James Eden's comes through. It goes second quick, 800 of a second off the 3 of Lewis Hewitt, who's the current mark to beat. Down the back straightaway for the second time and in towards 3 and 4. The number 52 Swindell Speed Labs Esports sprint car, a little bit loose to the center of the corner. Diamond's off the exit. Let's see if he improves this second time around. He's got to beat an 18.717, and he will not. He's going to drop into the 19s as Joe Quinn in the 901, Tommy. He keeps up good qualifying performances. He sits quickest at the moment.
Yeah, Joe Quinn impressive thus far. David Heilemann puts it up to position number 2. Still, I do believe he has one more lap around the Williams Grove Speedway to make on his final attempt right now. Only .01 difference between him and Joe Quinn for that pole position, coming out of turn number 4 for the final time.
I think David Heilemann's going to come through. Let's see, can he beat that 18.717? No, he'll drop down a little bit. 7.34 will the driver of that number 49. I saw the 9 of Joel Berkeley out there on track. He's coming to the end of his second lap right now as we look at Justin Thomas and Joel Berkeley. He's going to go quick time, chasing his 18.708.
Yeah, fantastic lap there for the Aussie Joel Berkeley, an 18.708 to Joe Quinn's 18.717. And Joe Quinn, man, you mentioned it there just for briefly, that he's been very good in qualifying these last couple weeks. And man, I'm on board right now with Austin Selman. He just entered turn 3, I believe, yeah, turn 3, and he picked that left rear tire up. We talked about it last week after the race there at Kokomo Speedway. That getting into the corners here at Williams Grove Speedway with these non-wing cars, you're carrying so much speed down in the corner, and to make that sharp turn, you really got to back the car in, and these guys are picking up that left rear tire, and I wouldn't be surprised, Tommy, to see one of these guys go upside down there into the corner here tonight.
Yeah, it'll be very, very interesting to watch as you see Alex Bergeron also out there on the racetrack making his first attempt and currently sitting in position.
He's not put in a time yet, Tommy. He's on his first lap right now.
All right, Bergeron going around the racetrack first lap. 18.669 in practice, coming around a complete lap number 1 for Bergeron, trying to get the pole. 18.724 up to position number 5.
So it's a decent qualifying effort from Alex at the moment. Let's see if he can maybe improve on that. Still a couple of names we need to see qualify. The 11 of Cole Newhoffen and the 44 of Blake Cannon need to take to the racetrack as well. Along the outside goes Bergeron. We're seeing that groove maybe move up a little bit. Second time around, and he will take quick time chase.
Wow, that's what we came for right there. I love seeing guys go quick time late in the session. Only about 50 seconds left here to get a qualifying lap in as Cole Newhoffen comes across the line. Not a very good lap there for him. Looks like he'll end up around the 12th spot there with an 18.903, but Bergeron by 4 1/1000ths of a second, your quick time qualifier here with just 30 seconds left in the session.
Blake Cannon is the last one who owes us a qualifying lap. He's going to be the one that closes the session out. First trip puts him 10th quickest of the 26 sprint cars we have on hand. Down the back straightaway and in towards 3 and 4 with the Swindell Speed Labs eSports car. We saw them at the top of the timing sheets early in the session. Can Blake Cannon maybe take the honor away from Alex Bergeron? Down the front straightaway, he'll go to an 18.731. That'll put him P6, but it's going to be the 14 of Alex Bergeron chase that takes pole position in that opening heat. It's down the starting grid for heat race number 1.
Yeah, and with 26 cars in the field here tonight, it looks like we're only going to have 3 heat races, which is going to make it a very large heat race. 9 drivers will make up this first one, and it's going to be Alex Bergeron. And how about this? David Heilemann on the outside of the front row, so an incredible front row for this first heat race. Number 2 on the inside, the 057 car, that's Anthony Lepresto. And on the outside of him, second in the points, so your entire top 3 in the points are right here in this first heat race. James Eden's on the outside of row number 2. Row 3 inside, the 23 car, Justin Thomas. And on the outside, the 57 car is Ryan Diotti. 4th row inside, the 131 of Bobby Sant Jr. And on the outside of him, the 83 car is Hunter Connolly. And your final starter will be the number 8 of Matt Howard. He'll start 9th. But man, this has got to be the most stacked heat race of the season there, Tommy.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 3 in points starting 1st, 2nd, and 4th here in heat race number 1. Alex Bergeron picks up those 6 bonus points for qualifying on the pole here this evening. Looking for 8 more for winning heat race number 1 as he will lead them to the green.
Yeah, and you talked about it there before the races started, that Bergeron in chase to that number 52 car, James Edens. Bergeron came, and it looks like around 23 points behind Edens for that second spot in the championship standings. And you also talked about its $2,000 difference there in the points payout. So for second place in points, you get $3,000 and then $1,000 for third. So Bergeron definitely trying to step up his game here and get by James Edens for that spot, or that second spot in the championship. But I'm excited to see what happens here in this first heat races. It's going to be a little bit longer here for these pace laps because this is the biggest track they go to all season long.
Yeah, long pace laps around the Williams Grove Speedway. It's going to be very tight corners, very hairpin, paperclip style racetrack, almost like a Martinsville, but we're on dirt. You're going to see these drivers using a little bit more brake than what you would see at a Knoxville or even some of the short tracks. You don't see them maybe use the brake as much. You'll definitely see that brake come into effect here this evening here in heat race number 1, getting set to go next time at a turn number 4.
Yeah, brakes will definitely become a factor here tonight, especially for the guys that are trying to run the bottom side of this racetrack when it starts to slick off. And, I'm seeing a couple spots on the racetrack that are already kind of shining up a little bit and getting a little bit slick out there. So hopefully that, this track kind of, slickens off a little bit more towards the feature event, and we have a good show here tonight as Alex Bergeron and David Heilemann lead him down the back straightaway one more time here before we get the green flag. 8 laps will be the distance, and the top 4 drivers in each heat, or in each heat race, I should say, top 4 finishers will go straight to the main event. And then we'll go have a B main event where the top 4 transfers come out of that as well to make up a 20-car starting field. And there goes that pace truck pulling into the infield. About to go green here for the first heat race of the night here at the Williams Grove Speedway. Alex Bergeron, David Heilemann, green flags in the air.
Alex Bergeron on the gas. He'll take him down the front straightaway into turn number 1. David Heilemann will fall back to position number 2. I do believe that's Anthony Lepresto holding on to third. We got some mayhem in the back.
Yeah, that was actually the 57 car, Ryan Diotti and Justin Thomas, to get the wall right there down in turn one. Some contact now about the 6th spot, and that's going to put Matt Howard into the fence. He got hit by, it looks like, the 83 car, Hunter Connolly, and man, that field got spread out quickly with those incidents there.
Yeah, battle on for the race lead. David Heilman putting all kinds of pressure on your race leader, Alex Bergeron, down the back straightaway. Bergeron able to hang on to it for a moment. They'll come around to complete lap number 2. Still 6 more times around the Williams Grove Speedway in heat race number 1.
Yeah, Bergeron leads there on lap number 3. David Heilman right now in the 2nd spot, followed by James Edens, Anthony Lopresto, your top 4 drivers. So we go straight on to the feature event. Down the back straightaway they go. David Heilman right there, about a car length behind the 14 car of Alex Bergeron. These cars are pretty tough to drive down these straightaways. Wow, Heilman gets way sideways right there. He'll get good run down the front straightaway, but a close call there for the 49 car.
Yeah, Heilman had to hang on to it. Got a great run coming out of the corner, though, with the line that he did run, but he's going to fall all the way back and maybe to the hands of James Edens, who pulls along the back bumper down the back straightaway. He'll be halfway home next time by here in heat race number 1. Alex Bergeron showing the way.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see James Edens push the issue here to get by David Heilman. The change from 2nd to 3rd as far as the starting lineup will go in the main event is huge. You'll lose at least 4 spots, finishing 2nd or 3rd in the heat race here. So James Edens really wants to get by that 49 car of David Heilman and make his job a little bit harder come main event time. And maybe James will be able to close in on that point gap just a little bit more in that championship standing. So coming around this time by 6 laps down and 2 to go.
Yeah, Bergeron stretched his lead out just 0.6 of a second is the race lead between him and David Heilman. Heilman holding on to 2nd as James Edens 3rd, and Bobby Sand Jr. holding on to the 4th and final transfer spot as Anthony Presto about a 2.5 behind him. So the top 4 drivers pretty much have solidified their 4 spots if they can hang on to it here in the final stages.
Yep, next time by will be the white flag for the 14 car of Alex Bergeron. He works the top of the racetrack down there in 1 and 2, goes down the back straightaway. Got a pretty good gap back to the 49 car of David Heilman, over a half-second gap between 1st and 2nd. Here comes James Edens now up to the back bumper of Heilman, off turn number 4 and down the front straightaway. White flags in the air, and the battle for the 2nd spot's heating up here.
Yeah, James Edens putting all kind of pressure on Bergeron into turn number 1 and 2 down the back straightaway for the final time. Edens to the bottom of the racetrack. Alex Bergeron looks like he's going to hang on to win pretty easily, but here comes James Edens for the final time.
Yep, Edens tries the bottom side of the racetrack coming off turn number 4. He's going to try and get the run down the front straightaway. Not going to happen. Heilman will hang on 2nd. Edens will be 3rd, and Bobby Sand Jr. will end up in the 4th spot there, and he will be your final transfer to tonight's main event. So real quick down your finishing order there. It's Alex Bergeron with the win, followed by David Heilman, James Edens, Bobby Sand Jr. 5th spot was Anthony Lopresto. 6th was the 57 car Ryan Diotti. 7th was the 23 car Justin Thomas. Then it was the 8 car Matt Howard in the 8th spot, and then it was Hunter Connolly in 9th. Heat race number 2 is getting gridded up now, and here is how they'll line up. A couple of Aussies here on the front row. The 9 car of Joel Berkeley on the inside, and on the outside starting 2nd, it's the 3 car of Lewis Hewitt. Row 2 inside, the 74 car is Adam Elby, and on the outside of him, the number 80 car, Vinny Sansone. 3rd row inside, a couple teammates here, the 5 of Rusty Kruger, and on the outside, it's the number 12 car, Cole Cabre. 4th row, the 18 of Austin Selman. On the outside is the 98 car, James Tiernan. And your final start, the 00 car, is going to be Jeff Nevins. And, Tommy, looking at the grid here in this one, a guy that's kind of sticking out to me that really hasn't had a good couple weeks here after having a couple, he had a couple good weeks, but he's had a couple bad weeks now. That 12 car, Cole Cabre, has not really been put in the qualifying efforts and has not really had good feature finishes here, but I'm sure he's trying to turn that around here tonight.
Yeah, you've seen him towards the front earlier on in the season. Last couple of races, just not had the luck that he had to start the season off. Looking to bounce back here at the Williams Grove Speedway. Definitely a great place to get the run in. Also, keep an eye on that 2nd row inside. Adam Elby, definitely a great driver here in these non-wing sprint cars. You've seen him towards the front a couple of times as well. He's had some good runs and some bad runs as well. Look for him to bounce back here tonight at Williams Grove once again.
Yeah, Adam Elby currently 11th in the point standings when they come in tonight here at the Williams Grove Speedway. We've talked to him on a couple of occasions. He's definitely ran in the top 5. I think he ran 3rd possibly on one occasion this year. So Adam Elby definitely a great guy to watch for here in this series. And, he got that great opportunity to go run one of the Ford Focus midgets up there in the northern part of Washington up at the Skagit Dirt Track this year from his sim racing efforts, which is a pretty cool thing to see there, Tommy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. These drivers getting these opportunities from the iRacing circuit. Adam Elby, another one of those getting to hop into a real-life midget sprint car and actually do pretty well. And we get set to go green here for the final time as Joel Berkeley, and I do believe that is Lewis Hewitt, the Aussies, lead them to the green this time out of turn number 4.
Yeah, Joel Berkeley, another guy that's had some success in this series. He's currently 5th in the point standings. Just really hasn't been that consistent, really, that 9 car. He got upside down last week at the Kokomo Speedway trying to come through the field, and tonight he's got a good starting spot here in this second heat race, trying to start on the front row if he can win this thing. Green flag's out, and a great start for the 9 car of Joel Berkeley.
Yeah, Berkeley gets a great jump out of turn number 4 coming to the green. Lewis Hewitt fall back to position number 2. Then it's LB Vinny Sansone. We got a car spinning around down the back straight or into turn number 2.
Yeah, it's Rusty Kruger that got around there. He's going to keep on going, but he'll fall all the way to the back of the field, and his chances of making it into a transfer spot here are pretty slim, as Cole Cabray's trying to put some pressure on the 80 car of Vinny Sansone for that 4th and final transfer spot.
Adam Elby also putting the pressure on the Aussie Lewis Hewitt for position number 2. Vinny Sansone, he'll fall back to position number 4, and that is Cole Cabray back there in position number 5. They run single file down the back straightaway.
Oh, Hewitt gets sideways. Oh, and he's going to collect the 80s of Sansone, the 12 of Cabray, and some other drivers behind him. Sansone backed it into the corner a little bit too hard right there, and there came Cabray right in the back of him and collected a whole bunch of other guys there.
Yeah, tough break for Lewis Hewitt. He hangs on to position number 3. That allows James Tiernan a birthday present as he gets up to position number 4. And now we see the second place driver, Adam Elby, lose it, and Hewitt will go right back around him.
Wow, Elby, if we could somehow go back and watch the replay there, the 74 of Elby, left rear tire was at least a foot off the ground entering turn 3 right there, and he nearly clobbered the guardrail down in turn number 3 and 4, held onto it. Right now he's in the 4th spot, but I gotta believe there might be some damage on that 74 car. He hit the wall off turn 2 that last time by.
Yeah, this track is definitely slicking up. You see a couple of these drivers having some issues out there keeping their car together in through the corners right now. As Lewis Hewitt holding on to position number 2. Joel Berkeley running away with about a 1.5 lead over Lewis Hewitt. That's James Tiernan. Now Adam Elby trying to hang on to that 4th and final transfer spot. As here comes Cole Cabray in that 12 machine.
Yeah, Cabray's all over him down the front straightaway, down into turn number 1. Where does the 12 car go? He's going to look to the inside as Elby gets the wall again down the front stretch, and there goes Cabray. He'll take the transfer spot away. Elby's going to try and turn it back to the inside, but Cabray with momentum will hang on to the 4th spot for now, as Elby cannot keep that thing off the wall here tonight.
Yeah, Elby's falling from 2nd all the way back to position number 5 on the outside, looking in as they come around to get 2 sticks in the air this time, 2 more times around the racetrack.
How about the run for James Tiernan? He started way back in the 8th spot on the outside of the 4th row, and it looks like he might be able to end up 3rd in this thing unless Cabray can string a couple of corners together here and track him back down. Cabray lifts the left rear tire up off the ground right there. In a turn, here he comes to the outside. There he goes, Cabray, and he's going to take the 3rd spot now.
Yeah, he got a great run off of turn number 4 to pull ahead up James Tiernan. Tiernan going to trying to hold on to position number 4 for the white flag lap. One more time around the racetrack. Joel Berkeley going into turn number 3 and 4 for the final time, and he will pick up the win here in heat race number 2.
Yep, 2nd spot will go to the 3 car Lewis Hewitt as they come across the line. Cabray nearly got to him right there. He'll end up in the 3rd spot. 4th was James Tiernan, and heading off to the B main event will include these drivers: the 74 car of Adam Elby, the 80 of Vinny Sansone, the 00 car Jeff Nevins, the 5 of Rusty Kruger, and the 18 of Austin Semmelman, who ended up 5 laps down in that thing. So not sure what happened to the 18 car. I think he was involved in that incident with Vinny Sansone there in the opening couple of laps there. So a tough one there for Semmelman, but he'll try again in the B main event. Next heat race, the final one of the night coming out of the racetrack. It's the 901 of Joe Quinn up there on the front row alongside the 44 car of Blake Cannon. Row 2 inside the 10 car Skylar Brown. And on the outside of this guy's coming off a string of podium finishes. It's the 37 car of Aiden Perdue. Row 3 inside the 11 of Cole Newhofen. On the outside of him, the 121 of Josh Fox. And your final 2 starters, the 211 of Alex Smolders and the 41 car of Colton Hardy. And I gotta believe the favorite heading into this heat race right here is that 37 car of Aiden Perdue there. Tommy, he's been very, very good these last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's been up into the top 3 the last 2 weeks at Knoxville and last Wednesday at Kokomo as well. Another driver starting towards the back here in this heat race. He's been having a couple of good runs lately. That's the 211 of Alex Smolders. He'll start back there on the inside of row number 4. Joe Quinn, great start for him. Hasn't had a top 5 finish yet this season. Starts on the pole here in heat race number 3. A great qualifying effort for him as well.
Yeah, Joe Quinn's been very good in qualifying all season long, and as you mentioned there, Aiden Perdue, very good this year, as well as, we got Blake Cannon out there, a former winner with the World of Outlaws Morton Billings Late Model Championship Series. Picked up a win there a couple months back at the Limeland Motorsports Park, so that 44 car Cannon definitely knows his way to victory lane here in these World Championship Series. But Joe Quinn, he's got the pressure on him right here. He hasn't really had a great season, I don't think, there, Tommy. He's back in, looks like, trying to find him in the point standings. He's way back in the 22nd spot. So Quinn has put some good qualifying effort in, but he hasn't really had the feature finishes to back it up.
Yeah, we've seen Joe Quinn, out there on the racetrack, just not had the finishes that he's wanted. He's got a great chance to turn that around here tonight, starting at Williams Grove, starting on the pole. This track has changed a little bit since their qualifying efforts. You've seen the guys in heat race number 2 struggling with the racetrack, going all over the place, sliding around. We'll see if that'll come into play here in heat race number 3 as they pace down the back straightaway for the final time.
Yeah, it seems like the place that everybody's been struggling at is in turn number 3, during the corner right there. They're all picking up the left rear tire, and it's really upsetting the car, getting them into the guardrail and getting their cars sideways, which we saw a couple of incidents there in that second heat race. Pace truck pulls off. It's going to be Joe Quinn and Blake Cannon leading him down to the green flag. Here we go, and a good start for Quinn, and he'll pull out ahead of the 44 car down the front straightaway.
Yeah, Joe Quinn going to lead him down into turn number 1 and 2. Blake Cannon, he's going to try to get the momentum to try to pull alongside him down the back straightaway. Can't quite get it running. And that's Aiden Perdue up to position number 3. And Skylar Brown holding on to the top 5. Oh, contact right there with, I do believe that is the 40. Skylar Brown in the 10 machine getting turned around right there.
We got a battle for the race lead there, Tommy. There goes the slide job from the 44 car, Blake Cannon. He gets by the 901 and Joe Quinn, and now Quinn gets run into the backup by the 37 car of Aiden Perdue. That's going to open up the door for Colton Hardy, who started dead last in this thing, and he runs third now as he slides in front of Perdue.
And from last to third, Perdue going to try to cross him back over on the front straightaway. He runs side by side. Perdue may have the momentum going into turn number 1. He does. Oh, he makes contact with Hardy. Hardy goes upside down, and that'll end his race just about.
Yeah, definitely not sure how the officials are going to like that maneuver by the 37 car of Aiden Perdue right there, but he's going to continue on. Colton Hardy's going to have to try again in the B main event. With that action there, that's going to move the 211 car of Alex Smoller's now up into a transfer spot, so a whole lot of crazy stuff going on here in this one.
Cole Newhoffen on the outside looking in as Blake Cannon. He'll lead down the back straightaway here on lap number 3. It'll be halfway home. Next time by Joe Quinn, going to try to run him back down. Quinn will take it to the outside of the racetrack, trying to get a run on Blake Cannon now.
Man, they are already way up next to the guardrail down in turns 3 and 4, and that's going to make for some hairy instances down there during the feature event. Once it gets slicker and once it gets a little bit wider out there, these guys are going to be bouncing their right rear tires, bouncing their rear bumpers off that wall by the end of this thing. There goes Cannon. He's going to hit it right there, Tommy. Wow, this is getting good.
Yeah, Joe Quinn made up a little bit of ground right there with Cannon bouncing on the outside wall out of turn number 4 as they run down the back straightaway. Still 3 more times around the racetrack. Anything can happen, but Blake Cannon looking pretty good right now if he can hang on to it.
Yep, Cannon looking pretty solid up front besides that little instance that last time by off turn number 4 as they work down the front straightaway. 2 laps to go for the former World of Outlaws Morton Buildings Late Model Series winner, Blake Cannon. Joe Quinn trying to track him down. Quinn backs into turn number 1. He's going to get the diamond maneuver off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. He might gain some ground right there. The last time by, it was Cannon with a 1987 and Joe Quinn with a 1996. So Cannon still pulling away just a little bit.
Yeah, white flag in the air. Battle is also on for position number 3. Maybe even the transfer spot is Cole Newhoffen sneaking into the picture. That's Aiden Perdue in 3rd. Alex Smolders in 4th. And Cole Newhoffen on the outside looking in for the moment as they work down the back straightaway for the final time.
Yeah, don't count Newhoffen out of this thing quite yet. He's got and there he goes. Wow, as soon as I called his name out right there, he did exactly what I talked about all night long. He got up on the bike and got into the wall and flipped over the wall. Down in turn 3, my goodness, the checker's going to come out. We only had 4 guys finish that heat race right there, and that means all 4 of them are going straight to the feature event. Blake Cannon wins it, Joe Quinn 2nd, Aiden Perdue, Alex Smolders, Cole Newhoffen, Colton Hardy, and Skylar Brown. Oh my goodness, that was a wild series of events there.
Yeah, that was a wild ride by Cole Newhoffen. Just took it into turn number 3, threw it in there as hard as he could, trying to make up the 4th and final transfer spot, and the car just gets out from underneath him and upside down he goes, and that ruins his race right there on the final lap.
Yeah, that was just crazy to see right there. I mean, I mentioned it. I didn't think that it would happen to these guys, so they are the professional drivers here, but definitely a tough break there for Cole Newhoffen. They'll have to try again here in this B main event. We've got 2 of them, and the top 4 drivers from each one will transfer straight onto the feature event. Here's how the first one will line up. It's going to be the 057 car of Angelo Presto on the pole, and on the outside of him, if they've gotten that car out from behind the wall over there, Cole Newhoffen starts 2nd. Row 2 inside the 80 of Vinny Sansone. On the outside of him, the 23 car Justin Thomas. 3rd row, the 121 car Josh Fox, and on the outside is the 5 car Rusty Kruger. And your final starter, the 83 of Hunter Connolly, will round out the field here in the 7th spot. So top 4 transfer on, and I look down this field there, Tommy, and it looks like every one of these guys had some kind of problem in the heat race. Either got upside down or gotten involved in somebody else's accident.
Yeah, all these guys are looking to rebound from their heat races and definitely did not like the way their heat races have wound up. That's why they're in the last chance qualifier, and we'll see what happens. I can't predict anything here in these last chance qualifiers after watching those heat races. Williams Grove definitely is the monkey wrench in the schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these guys are definitely struggling with this racetrack here tonight. Obviously, I'm sure they put some practice time in, but once it comes race time and all those nerves come up and, you know, all the pressure's on, you know, you can make a lot of mistakes, and we're seeing these guys do that here tonight at the Williams Grove Speedway. So once again, it's going to be Anthony Lepresto and Cole Newhoff leading them to green. And only 7 cars in this field. We're taking the top 4, so these guys are going to be really getting after it right here to try and get into those top 4 spots, and not a whole lot of room for error here.
Yeah, we'll go green next time out of turn number 4. Lepresto, Newhoff, and Sansone, Justin Thomas. That'll be your first 2 rows. Then Josh Fox, Rusty Kruger, Hunter Connolly, shotgun on the field all back there by himself. Maybe the best starting position in this field right now. We'll see what happens when they go green next time out of turn number 4.
Yeah, look how slick it is entering turn number 1 right there, Tommy. It's going to get even worse here with these 2 B-main events, and I'm glad it's actually 2 B-mains because that just means we're going to get more laps on this racetrack. It's going to get slicker. It's going to make it harder for these guys to figure out where to run. But you can definitely see entering turn 1, and I'm trying to wait till we get over here to turn 3 to see what it looks like down there, but it also looks like it's getting very slick down there, so this track's getting technical.
Yeah, you've seen these drivers all the way just about up against the guardrail in heat race number 3. Saw Blake Cannon running up there, bouncing off the wall, bouncing that right rear off the wall ever so slightly. You're going to have to be very careful with that as well. These cars are very, very sensitive when it comes to hitting the wall here, especially here at Williams Grove in one of these guardrails.
Green flags in the air, and it's going to be the 057 car, Anthony Lepresto, leading the field in turn 1. He runs the top side of the racetrack. Down the backstretch he goes. It'll be interesting to see which line he chooses down here. It looks like he's going to try the slide job line. He goes to the bottom and slings it up to the top side of the racetrack. Big run from the 11 car, Cole Newhoff right there. Looked like he kept up top all the way throughout the corner. It looked pretty fast right there.
Yeah, Justin Thomas sitting back in position number 3, trying to wait and see what happens. He'll dip down the inside. Position number 2, that's Cole Newhoff, and that's Vinny Sansone holding on to the 4th and final transfer spot. Right now, Josh Fox on the outside looking in, but it's be Anthony Lepresto as we got contact with the top 2 drivers.
And that's going to collect Vinny Sansone, Josh Fox. It looks like everybody's going to keep on going, but that's really going to shuffle up your top 4 guys. Cole Newhoff moves into a transfer, as well as the 83 car Hunter Connolly.
Yeah, Hunter Connolly starting back there, shotgun on the field. He's now up in that 4th and final transfer spot, but now he's getting a lot of pressure from that 5 machine of Rusty Kruger. Kruger will take it to the top shelf of the racetrack, trying to get a run and move back up to one of those top 4 transfer spots here on the front straightaway.
Oh, man, that was a close call right there. These cars are so hard to drive down the straightaways without a big wing on top of them and a full load of fuel. These guys are just swirling all over the straightaway, and you saw Rusty Kruger nearly get into the side of Hunter Connolly. Great battle going on as Kruger slides by him into turn number 3.
Kruger makes a big slide job move right there as Connolly are trying to cross him back over down the front straightaway. Can't make it happen. Kruger will get the run and try to check out the 4th and final transfer spot as Josh Fox now looking on the outside of Hunter Connolly once again.
And it doesn't look like to me that there's anything on the bottom side of the racetrack in turns 3 and 4. It's just you got to slow down so much, and there's not a whole lot on the exit. Here comes Connolly. He'll try it right here, but right on the exit, it's so narrow down there, and you see him throw the front or the rear end around right there, and Josh Fox goes right by him. So if you're going to make moves on the bottom, I think it's got to happen down in 1 and 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2 is going to be the place to pass on the bottom. If you want to pass in turns number 3 and 4, you're going to have to make something happen on the top shelf of the racetrack. But that's where these guys are running right now. Just got to hope somebody makes a mistake in front of you in turn number 3 and 4, but Anthony Lepresto is checked out here in the B main as we're halfway home here in last chance qualifier number 1.
And the 4th spot is still up for grabs. Here comes Josh Fox. He was involved in that last incident on the racetrack. Oh, he gets tight off turn 2, and that's going to allow Kruger to get away, but that battle's not over yet. It looks like Fox has the better car. He drives into the top of the racetrack in turns 3 and 4. He's only about 3 car lengths behind Rusty Kruger, and Kruger's feeling the pressure. 2 drivers right there. Only one of them makes it to the feature event.
Yeah, they just got to figure out how to keep it smooth throughout the racetrack here at Williams Grove. Very, very difficult track conditions right now for these drivers. They're just trying to hang on to it and give it the best they can. And here comes Fox once again all over the back bumper of Kruger. We'll see if he can make the pass as he come down the front straightaway. It'll be 9 laps down, still 3 more times around the racetrack. Here comes Josh Fox once again.
Big slide job down to the corner. The 121 of Fox takes it away. Kruger's going to turn it back to the inside on the back straightaway, side by side for the final transfer spot. Kruger's got it as they enter turn number 3. He's going to slide up the racetrack. Fox back to the inside. Has to get out of the gas right there. Almost ran into the side of Kruger. And look at that. Connolly's right there as well.
Yeah, great drive by Kruger, able to slam the door on the 121. Fox not able to make the pass in turn number 3 and 4 to crossover move as Kruger runs down the back straightaway. It'll be 2 more times around the racetrack, but Rusty Kruger trying to hang on to it. Here comes Josh Fox once again at turn number 3 and 4. Just can't quite get the run. Maybe will this time on the top shelf of the racetrack as they come around 2 more times around to go here in last chance qualifier number 1.
If Josh Fox wants this transfer, he's going to have to come get it. The 5-car, Rusty Kruger, hold them off like a champ right now. The 121's got to try something. Coming by for the white flag this time by. Looks like some contact possibly for the second spot up ahead, but we're keeping our eye on this battle for the transfer spot. Down the front straightaway one more time. The white flag's out. Can Josh Fox get the job done?
Yeah, Rusty Kruger has it. Josh Fox wants it. They go into turn number 1 and 2 for the final time. Rusty Kruger powering down the back straightaway. He may have it if he doesn't make a mistake. As Cole Newhoffen flips on the racetrack, he was running in a transfer spot, and that will allow Josh Fox to transfer without making the pass on Rusty Kruger here on the final lap.
Wow, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to the 121 of Josh Fox. Christmas came early for him here tonight as Cole Newhoffen, for the second race in a row. I'm watching the replay. Man, he just flipped again. I talked about it several times all night and last week that was going to happen in turn 3, and Newhoffen does it twice in one night.
Oh my goodness, tough break for Newhoffen, running in transfer spots in each the heat race and the main event. Just not his night here at Williams Grove, and he'll have to come back next week and try it one more time.
The cool part about it, though, Tommy, is how hard it just shows how hard it is to get around this racetrack right now. I mean, we're watching the replay. It looks like he just hits a big cushion right there, or a big curb up there, and just goes for a big ride. That won't be the first time. We saw a guy in real life back in the day. I can't remember who it was, but that's a normal thing. We've seen guys fly out of the ballpark here at Williams Grove, so definitely some realistic characteristics coming here in the sim.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing right there. Cole Newhoffen, second time tonight on the final lap. Just very, very tough break right there. We're getting set to go. Last chance qualifier number 2. Still 4 more spots up for grabs.
Yeah, here's the lineup for this final B main of the night. The 74 car of Adam Elby will be on the pole. Outside him, the 57 of Ryan Diotti. Row 2 inside, the 41 car Colton Hardy, and on the outside of him, the 00 car Jeff Nevins. Row 3 inside, the 8 of Matt Howard, and on the outside of Howard, it's the 10 of Skylar Brown. Final start of the 18 car. We're going to keep our eye on him. That's Austin Selman. He had a great start, great starting spot in the heat race, but got caught up in somebody else's accident and ended up 5 laps down. So I think that's going to be the guy to watch for in this one.
Yeah, definitely a driver to watch. Adam Elby, 74 machine. Ryan Tiati here inside, outside row number 1. Should be a lot of fun. Austin Selman, Skylar Brown back there, 6th and 7th. Those are 2 definitely drivers to keep an eye out starting in the back. You never know what can happen, though. You've seen drivers start towards the back, and last chance qualifier number 1 able to make their way to a transfer spot. And we'll see if it can happen again here in last chance qualifier number 2.
Yeah, it's cool to see so many drivers in this, not only this heat race, but in this series that race in real life. We've got Adam Elby. He runs a non-wing micro sprint every now and again. He's got one sitting in his garage, but doesn't have the money to really go out and race it full time. But Colton Hardy, a guy that runs wing sprint cars, runs non-wing sprint cars out in Arizona. You got Matt Howard out there who runs sprint cars, and he runs micro sprints as well. It's just great to see the amount of guys that come from the real life stuff. Aiden Purdue, another guy in this series that races in real life and tries to have some success here on the online sim. So I think that's just a great part of this deal. It's great to see, and it's awesome. Here we go off turn number 4. Green flag is out for the final B main of the night.
Last chance qualifier number 2 underway. Adam Elby showing the way into turn number 1 and 2, but here comes the 41 of Colton Hardy. Tries to make the big slide jump move. Couldn't quite make it happen. Ryan Tiati will hang on to 2nd. Hardy back to 3rd. I do believe that's Matt Howard at the 4th and final transfer spot at the moment.
Oh, Colton Hardy gets real tight, entering the corner right there. Here comes Austin Selman on the bottom side of the racetrack, almost 3 wide for a moment right there, as Hardy was cranked left trying to get that rear end to come around. And here comes the slide job from Matt Howard. Howard's got 3rd.
Yeah, Howard slides up to 3rd right there. Hardy going to have to hang on to the 4th and final transfer spot because Austin Selman's on the outside looking in at the moment. Selman trying to make that bottom work. Haven't seen that come into play just yet. Maybe he can get it going as Skylar Brown will try to power on the outside around him.
You have Skylar Brown, Austin Selman side by side for the 5th spot. Oh, Brown nearly got into the wall right there. I swear you could not fit a credit card between the right rear and the wall for the 10 car, Skylar Brown. And he's tracking down the 41 car, Colton Hardy, as they're going to battle for that transfer spot here in just a moment.
Yeah, you've seen that left rear tire pick up for Skylar Brown entering turn number 3. Very similar to what Cole Newhoffen was experiencing. We'll see if that'll come into play here in last chance qualifier number 2 as Skylar Brown looks on the inside of Colton Hardy for the 4th and final transfer spot as we come around to complete lap number 4. Next time by, Skylar Brown nearly does it again.
My goodness, one of these guys is going to go upside down by the end of this thing. Mark my words. It's now within a car length of Colton Hardy. The top 3 have really pulled away from these guys. It's just a battle for the 4th spot between Hardy, Brown, and Selman is right there as well. And you can't count out the 00 Jeff Nevins. 4 cars battling for the final transfer spot down the back straightaway.
Yeah, keep your eye on that Skylar Brown entering turn number 3. That just left rear just picking up, and that could create a lot of problems for the drivers running right behind him as well. Just can't quite figure out where to get around him. But the 41 Colton Hardy hanging on for dear life for the 4th and final transfer spot. Here comes Skylar Brown in for number 4.
Yep, Hardy gets into the wall. Now contact between Hardy and there goes Selman into the wall, and his race will be over. That'll leave us with 6 drivers left to battle for this spot. Hardy's not going to give up easy. He pulls up to the back bumper of Brown down the front straightaway. Will we see a slide job in turn number 1?
Skylar Brown still hanging on to the 4th and final transfer spot. Turn number 1 and 2 seems where do you want to make the pass right now. Brown able to pull away now, try to put some distance between him and the 41 of Colton Hardy. Adam Elby still showing the way, about 0.7 of a second over Ryan Daddy. Matt Howard hanging on to position number 3, but Skylar Brown up from position number 6 into the top 4, and that's where you want to be here in last chance qualifier number 2.
Oh, Hardy just bounced the right rear off the wall again. He's going to spin out, and now there's 5 cars left. Jeff Nevins got a lot of work to do if he wants to track down Skylar Brown. There's still 4 laps left, and with this, how this track has been going, you never know what can happen. We're about to have a battle for the race lead. Tommy, here comes Ryan Diotti up to the back bumper of Adam Elby.
Yeah, Adam Elby hanging on to the race lead all race long so far, but Ryan Diotti's now pulled along behind him, running down the back straightaway as we'll come around to 3 laps to go next time by. Here comes a big run from Ryan Diotti.
These guys are absolutely sawing on the steering wheel down the straightaways. I think what we're going to see here towards the feature event, these guys are going to have to run lower on the straightaway, Tommy, to try and keep the rear tires in the moisture. It sounds like we have an issue or something in turn 4. I think it was Colton Hardy and the 00 of Jeff Nevins, as well as the 18 of Selman. Right now in that 4th spot is Skylar Brown still hanging on to it.
Yeah, it's 5th, 6th, and 7th all get together over in turn number 3 and 4. So all Skylar Brown has to do is really just hang on for the ride on the final 2 laps, and he will transfer over into tonight's main event as Adam Elby still hanging on to the race lead. Ryan Diotti 2nd, Matt Howard coming to 3rd. It'll be white flag in the air this time by.
Well, you know, the white fog, you might think you're safe, but in Cole Newhoffen's spot, you're definitely not. So these guys definitely need to make sure they're on their game here these final laps. You never know what can happen. Matt Howard tries the bottom, runs the slide job line, actually runs the middle down here in turns 1 and 2, just trying to see what it's like. It actually looks like a good speed right there, but not able to make a pass on Diotti. He's not close enough. Here comes the checkered flag this time by off turn number 4. It's going to be the 74 car. Adam Elby with the win here in this final B main of the night, followed by the 57 car Ryan Diotti, the 8 of Matt Howard, and the 10 car Skylar Brown keeps it on all 4 tires, and he'll come away with the final transfer spot.
Yeah, great drive by Skylar Brown, able to hold on to the 4th and final transfer spot after a great battle with Colton Hardy throughout the race. Brown able to pick up that left rear tire, put on a show, and get around for the 4th and final transfer spot. Adam Elby, Ryan Diotti, Matt Howard all transfer as well. But Chase, we're getting set to go main event racing here in just a few moments.
Yeah, and I definitely want to bring in Randy Cheneth. I know he is chomping at the bit to get his words in here because I know he's watching right now and he's probably really excited. Randy, what's going on?
I mean, this track is wild, Chase. You talked about it. Guys are struggling all over. We've seen a couple guys get up in a wall by themselves, people bicycling these race cars. You said it last week, and your words are definitely holding true. This is the toughest racetrack they've had all year, Chase.
This is 100% the hardest track that they will go to all year long. That's why I was so excited to get here, because these guys really have a challenge here. I think these guys are really throwing the kitchen sink at these race cars right now, trying to get the setup right, trying to keep those left rear tires on the ground, because once that thing comes up, the weight shifts all over to the front end, the right side of the race car, and they're along for the ride. They're just really, I feel like a lot of those guys out there were just hanging on for dear life.
And that's the thing, Tommy, that they're going to be having to deal with is, on the setup options. I'm sure if they could, they'd be putting cinder blocks or maybe weights of some sort over there on the left side of the rear axle, because it seems like that's the problem. We've had that left rear tire just wants to lift up off the ground, and seems like once that happens, there's really not much you can do. You're just a passenger at that point.
Yeah, if you're guys like Alex Bergeron, David Heilman, James Edens, your top 3 in points, even Bobby Sant Jr., who ran all the way back in heat race number 1, definitely playing with the setup right now, because it's been a long, long time since you've been out there on the racetrack, and this racetrack has changed tremendously from heat race number 1 to where we are right now in the feature event. Should be very, very exciting.
Chase, I know you're talking about a little bit with Kevin Swindell in the spectator chat at the moment. Racing lines are going to be very important. The top line is seeming to be where you want to be. We've seen that kind of middle and bottom lane kind of go away from these race cars, but we've seen it around this place in the past. We've seen the top start to come in strong, and then the bottom, some point come feature time, just come in. If memory serves, we saw it in the wing cars, and we saw it in the late models as well. Even though it's a top dominant track at the moment, I think we could potentially see a phase if this race keeps green, that we see cars down along the bottom.
Oh, 100%. And what I was just talking about with Kevin Swindell down there in that chat was, you know, it's so treacherous up on the top right now. One mistake, and you'll end up out of the ballpark, as we say in dirt track racing, or you might end up in the wall and break your car. So maybe the bottom, you know, it's the safe route. You can't be flipping. You can't be hitting a cushion and flipping over. You just got to make sure you don't hit the inside wall. So, you know, maybe with a bunch of guys making mistakes on the outside, the bottom might come into play, as it might be just the safe route.
That's right, Chase. And, you know, predictions for this race, we know that if anyone's going to find the bottom, it's going to be that 14 car of Alex Bergeron. But there's so many good cars here tonight. David Heilman starting P4. James Edens look like he has speed. Aiden Perdue's always a wild card. Cole Cabré. Who's your pick to win this one, Chase?
Oh, man, it's hard to say. I want to say the 14 of Bergeron. It's just so hard to beat that guy off the pole of any of these races. He's already won with the wing sprint car. He's won with the late model here at Williams Grove. He's looking for the clean sweep, and I think he's going to be real tough to beat off the pole.
I think you're right about that, as the horn will sound and drivers will be making their way to the starting grid for the 7th feature round in your USAC World Championship Series, presented by Flow Racing here at Williams Grove Speedway. And Chase Rodman, take us through the field.
All right, on the pole, it's your third place in points. That's going to be the number 14 car of Alex Bergeron. On the outside of him, currently 5th in the point standings. That's the 9 of Joel Berkeley. Row 2 inside, the 44 car Blake Cannon. And on the outside of him, current series point leader, looking to go on the podium for the 7th race in a row with this series, the 49 car of David Heilman. Row number 3 on the inside, it's going to be the 3 car of Lewis Hewitt. And on the outside of him, the 901 of Joe Quinn. 4th row inside, that's going to be the 52 car James Edens. On the outside is going to be the 12 of Cole Cabré. Row 5 inside, 37, Aiden Perdue, and on the outside of him, the 131 of Bobby Sant Jr. Row 6 inside, it's going to be the 98 car James Kiernan, and on the outside of him, the 211 of Alex Smolders. 7th row inside, 13th starter, the 057 car Anthony Lepresto, and on the outside of him, it's the 74 car of Adam Elby. Row 8 inside, the 23 car, that's JT Justin Thomas, and on the outside of him, it's the 57 of Ryan Diotti. 9th row inside, the 5 of Rusty Kruger, and outside him, the 8 of Matt Howard. And your final 2 starters, the 121 of Josh Fox and the 10 car of Skylar Brown, will round out this field. And if I was those guys, I would be taking it real easy here these first couple laps, just letting things sort out, Tommy.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun to watch. It's going to be hard to predict a winner here, but can't not count out Alex Bergeron, who won the first 2 World of Outlaw Champ races here at Williams Grove in both the late models and the sprint cars. Starting on the pole here tonight in the USAC Wingless Sprint Car Series. He's going to be a very, very tough competitor to beat here at Williams Grove. Seems to love this racetrack.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be tough, but I think David Heilman, starting that close to the front of the field, he's going to be a factor as well. I mean, he's looking to go for the podium spot for the 7th week in, or is it 7th week in a row or the 8th week in a row?
7th week in a row. I believe he's finished in top 5, top 3 in every single race so far this season, including 3 feature wins. Only 7 other drivers, I do believe, has more than 2 top 5 finishes on the season. So very amazing stat, impressive stat from David Heilman.
It definitely is. David Heilman has been lights out all season long. We're looking for the green flag this next time by off turn number 4. And what could be, in my opinion, the race of the year with how this track is starting to sort out here. It's going to be Alex Bergeron, the Canadian, and Joel Berkeley, the Australian, on the outside of the front row, leading him to green, followed by Blake Cannon, David Heilman, Lewis Hewitt, and Joe Quinn, your first 3 rows. James Edens, keep your eye on him. Second in the point standings. He's got to make up some ground on David Heilman. Here we go, through turns 3 and 4 here at the Williams Grove Speedway. Round number 7 is underway here at the Williams Grove Speedway for the USAC World Championship Series.
It's a drag race into turn number 1 and 2, but give the turn number 1 to Alex Bergeron in position number 1. It's Joel Berkeley in pursuit in position number 2. And here comes the Aussie. I do believe that is Lewis Hewitt sitting in third, but he's going to have a challenge on the outside.
And look at this. Your top 3 go to the bottom of the racetrack. Oh, Cannon's into the wall. Blake Cannon hang on to it. He's wall riding, keeps going, gets hit from behind, but looks like we're going to stay green.
Yeah, top 3 took it to the bottom of the racetrack. And Bergeron pulling away. Joel Berkeley second. Now David Heileman up to position number 3. That's Lewis Hewitt, Bobby Sant Jr. top 5. And how about great ride by Joe Quinn thus far, looking for a top 5.
Look at these guys. I mean, this thing went from on the top to now on the bottom. Randy talked about it in the pre-race there. David Heileman, Joel Berkeley, and Alex Bergeron running the bottom of the racetrack, at least in 3 and 4. Everyone kind of going wherever they want down in 1 and 2, but it's just crazy how things can change so quickly here.
It just shows you the caliber of driver that we have out here on the racing surface. These guys are pros, man, and they're showing why they are right now. Heileman getting a big challenge from Joel Berkeley. Berkeley still trying to prove that the top shelf is where you want to be as he's trying to make a move on David Heileman.
And David Heileman, I mean, he's got a big enough point gap right now that if he wants to really get going here and get on the top of the racetrack and maybe track down Alex Bergeron, if there is still speed up there, I think he will do that. We know him as the Heilemaniac. He's out of control. He wants to win these races, but right now he's got a big gap to make up here as Bergeron's pulled out to at least, it looks like, a 1.5 second lead.
Yeah, 1.5 second lead. That might dip over to the 2 second mark as Joel Berkeley slides up on the bottom of David Heileman once again. Side by side for position number 2. Coming around to complete lap number 5. Still 25 laps to go. And now here comes Adam Elby, who was in a last chance qualifier.
Adam Elby started back in the 4th spot, and we're on lap 6, and he's running 4th. Now he's looking for the 3rd spot, almost 3 wide for 2nd, down the back straightaway. Don't even worry about Alex Bergeron. He's gone. This battle for the 2nd spot's about to get good, though.
Yeah, Alex Bergeron is checked out. He's in a different area code right now. David Heileman takes it to the top shelf of the racetrack like you just mentioned. He's going to try to power back around Joel Berkeley on the outside. Then he cuts Berkeley off going down into turn number 1 and 2. But here comes Adam Elby. He's going to try to do the same thing down the back straightaway and get a run on Joel Berkeley. He's looking for a podium finish.
Yeah, Adam Elby full send on the outside, and it turns 1 and 2. He's going to try the middle of the racetrack down here in 3 and 4, get the diamond off that 4th corner. Everyone trying to keep the left rear tire down in the moisture off that 4th corner, because if you miss it just a little bit, Tommy, you're going to hang the rear end out a little bit. You're going to lose a lot of time.
Yeah, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th all right there together. David Heileman, Joel Berkeley. Then it's Adam Elby, Cole Cabrera, your top 5 drivers. Bobby Sant Jr. started 10th. He's up to position number 6. And it's Lewis Hewitt. Ryan Diatti started 16th. He's worked his way up to 8th. Joe Quinn, 9th. And Aiden Perdue, your top 10 right now. Mounts 5th through 10th right now. Pretty much close. But Alex Bergeron has checked out over a 2-second lead.
Yeah, everybody really migrated to the bottom of the racetrack. Nobody really running up on the top anymore. A couple of guys at the back of the field running it in 1 and 2, but it seems like 3 and 4. As I kind of talked about there in the pre-race show, that it's just too scary up there to run, and it's just too risky as Adam Elby now takes over the 3rd spot. Berkeley tried the top in 3 and 4, but just got his doors blown off by the 74 of Elby.
Elby looking really strong. He's already gained 11 positions, looking for more, but he's going to have to run down 2 very strong drivers in the 49 of David Heileman and Alex Bergeron, as they've pretty much stretched themselves away from one another. Heileman trying to run down Alex Bergeron, just can't quite do it. Bergeron up to 2.3 second gap, and it's 3.5 back to Adam Elby in position number 3.
Yeah, Alex Bergeron turning laps sometimes that are 2/10 better than the guy in 2nd place, David Heileman, and 3/10 better than Adam Elby. So Bergeron lights out. I don't know what he's got going on here at the Williams Grove Speedway. As we mentioned, one with the wing car, one with the late model, and he's trying to do the triple threat here tonight with the non-wing car with the USAC World Championship Series, as he's cruised out to at least almost a 3-second advantage now.
Yeah, best battle on the racetrack right now is for position number 5. Cole Cabrera on the outside of the racetrack. Bobby Sant Jr., he'll slide up in front of Cabrera. And then they're about 3 wide right behind them. Lewis Hewitt, Joe Quinn, Ryan Diatti all right there together with Aiden Perdue as well. So good battles happening right here throughout the mid-pack. But your top 4 drivers have pretty much stretched themselves out from one another.
Yeah, definitely going to watch this battle back here for about, like you mentioned, the 7th and 8th spot. Lewis Hewitt's got it. Here comes the 901 of Joe Quinn and the 57 car. Ryan Diatti. Oh, there goes Quinn into the wall. Joe Quinn bounces off the wall. He's going to hang on to it. Loses the spot to Aiden Perdue, so a close call there for Quinn. And we've gone here about almost 14 laps with no yellows yet. So a great job by these drivers keeping it clean and green. After all the incidents we saw in the heat races, I'm pretty surprised by that.
Yeah, very impressive as Ryan Dowdy, he'll try to slide up in front of Lewis Hewitt. That's for position number 7. Right in front of them, you got Cole Cabray, Bobby Sant Jr. duking it out, got the gloves off, going down the back straightaway. Sant Jr. crosses Cole Cabray over once again. He'll move back into the top 5, but Cabray right there with him. He'll try to get to position back as they come out of turn number 4.
And now the guy I'm watching, the 37 car of Aiden Purdue, he's got the gloves off, and he just ripped the cushion down there in turns 3, 4. Oh, and he's into the wall in turn 1. He is going to hang onto the race car, but it looks like it might have some rear end damage. Man, I must be jinxing these guys. Every time I talk about them, they either flip over the wall or they hit the guardrail here.
That's such a dangerous line, that top shelf of the racetrack here at Williams Grove. It's fast. You just have to hit it right and not slide up into the wall. And your car can get very damaged and very quick here at Williams Grove trying to run that outside of the racetrack.
Aiden Purdue up on the absolute fence in 1 and 2. Watch him down the backstretch. He goes underneath the bridge here at the Williams Grove Speedway to the top of the racetrack here in 3 and 4. Watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Gets way up next to that guardrail, and we'll see if he can get a run down the front straightaway. Ryan Diotti, he's got the run. It's just Diotti a little bit too good there off the bottom of the racetrack, so don't count out that 37 car. We might see him towards the top 5 here by the end of this thing.
Yeah, just got to keep the momentum up, trying to get down the back straightaway. Once again, just slides up to the wall, may have a good run down the back straightaway. Over Ryan Diotti, just can't quite keep it going as his car just a little sideways coming off the corner, can't keep it straight.
And I'll tell you right now, Aiden Purdue was the fastest car on the racetrack the lap before the last one there. He ran a 22.1. I think Alex Bergeron with a 22.3. And now there he goes into the wall. I talked about him again. I'm going to just stop talking about guys because there he goes again.
Yeah, it's a very fast lineup there. It's just hard to keep it straight and keep it consistent. And right now with the bottom, the way these drivers are running, the bottom is just more consistent than the top. And that's what's able to keep these guys pretty much spread out and running top 5 right now. Bergeron up to a 3-second lead over David Heilman. And we got our first caution on the racetrack.
Yep, the 37 of Aiden Purdue for the 3rd lap in a row. The 3rd lap in a row, that 37 car just knocked the wall over. No matter how many times you hit it, Tommy, it ain't going to move anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to go anywhere. But Purdue, he was giving it everything he had, and just unfortunately for him, upside down is where he finds himself, and that'll be the end of his night in turn number 2.
This might get good right here, Tommy. I'm licking my lips. I'm clapping my hands. I am pumped for these last 10 laps right here, man. Alex Bergeron, I'm trying to check his lap times here real quick. I might take me a second to find that information here. The last couple laps, David Heilman running 22 2s, 3s, and 4s, and Alex Bergeron with a 3, 4, and a 9. So it looks like Heilman has been running better lap times. Adam Elby, 22 4s the last couple laps. So we might have ourselves a little battle here.
Yeah, it should get interesting, especially on these restarts. If they can make a slider move in front of Bergeron and get him a little upset, and see if Bergeron can hang on to it. But Adam Elby, great drive, 14th to 3rd. So he's had to pass some cars along the way, but he's found himself up into 3rd. He's got a fast race car, and now he'll have his sights set on your race leader, Alex Bergeron. We get set to go back to green as they work lap number 21 right now. We're 10 laps to go. It'll be about 8 laps to go when we go back to green.
And I'm interested to know if anybody's relayed the message to David Heilman, or maybe he's got the stream turned on in the background and he's listening to us. I doubt that. But if anybody's relayed that Aiden Purdue is making up time on Alex Bergeron on the top of the racetrack, and maybe we'll see the Heilemaniac come out here in these final, looks like maybe 7 or so laps to go in this one, and we might see him go up to the top of the racetrack and steal this victory away from Alex Bergeron.
You know David's not afraid to take it up there, even with how risky it could possibly be. David's known for taking the risk and making it pay off. We'll see if he can make it happen once again here at Williams Grove, or if he'll play it safe with the points lead and try to hang on to another podium finish. It'll be his 7th in a row.
Yeah, well, the points lead is going to grow even more now as James Edens is in the pit area in 18th, but we're going back to the green flag here with, it looks like it's going to be 8 laps remaining. Alex Bergeron's back on the throttle. We're back underway here with just 8 laps to go.
And Bergeron, great restart right there. David Heilman trying to hang with him right there in turn number 1 and 2. As he'll work the bottom of the racetrack, pull alongside Alex Bergeron down the back straightaway, get a run. And here comes David Heilman, going to try to make a run into turn number 3 and 4. He's all over the back bumper of Alex Bergeron now.
David Heilman right there with him off turn number 4 and down the front straightaway. He's trying to, oh, caution is out. Caution is going to come out here. Looks like possibly the 98 car, James Tiernan, involved in an accident. He was involved, it looks like, with the 3 car of Lewis Hewitt on the back straightaway. Tiernan just getting turned around and backing into the wall hard in turn 3. And that'll bring out the yellow, but we still will get some green laps in here to end this thing.
Yeah, it looks like we'll get around a green-white checker, maybe even a green, and then two laps in a checkered flag. But David Heilman, he was putting some pressure on Bergeron right there after that restart. He may have something for him. We'll see if Bergeron learned anything and do something a little different on the next restart. But David Heilman, he was showing he had the speed. We'll see what happens.
I really like the move that Heilman did there on that restart. He went to the bottom in 1 and 2, and you know these guys don't have all the momentum up, you know, entering that first corner on a restart. And Heilman went to the bottom, pulled up next to Bergeron there. I just didn't think he didn't really get to the corner that well. But if he's able to do that again here on this next restart and run the bottom and Bergeron goes to the top, he might be able to be side by side with him down the back straightaway, which will force Bergeron off the bottom and might get these guys in a slide job battle here.
Yeah, it's business is picking up. You got Adam Elby sitting back there in position number 3. Joe Berkeley, 4th. Cole Correa hanging on to the top 5. Ryan Deanny, Bobby Sant Jr., Alex Smulders, Joe Quinn, Skyler Brown started dead last here in tonight's main event, up into a top 10 as well. As we're getting set to go, I do believe next time out of turn number 4, we'll rack them and stack them and try it one more time. It'll be about 4 laps to go when we go back to green.
Yeah, I think you mentioned there Ryan Diotti from 16th up to the 6th spot. He was very good in that B main event earlier on, but Adam Elby, I think he's really the biggest mover here. 14th up to the 3rd spot in that number 74 car. Can he sneak away here with the victory with the USAC World Championship Series presented by FlowRacing.com? Next caution will end it, so we're hoping this thing will stay green. We're going to have it, looks like, I believe, 4 laps to go when the green flag flies here off turn number 4 as they're working down underneath the bridge on the back straightaway here. Pace truck will pull into the infield here in turn number 3, and the field will be in the hands of the 14 car of Alex Bergeron, looking for his first win of the year with the USAC World Championship Series. David Heilman looking for his 4th. Green flag's back out.
Green flag is back out. Alex Bergeron on the gas down the front straightaway. David Heilman going to try to stay right there with him into turn number 1 once again. We'll see if he can get the great run. A little slip up right there. He'll take it down to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to pull alongside Alex Bergeron. We'll get a caution, and that will end it.
And that definitely will end it, and that really hurts. That hurts right there. That hurts real bad. Bobby Sant Jr. getting upside down in turn number 1. I'm trying to watch the replay right now. Looks like he gets into turn 1 and runs into the back of Ryan Diotti and then hits the wall and flips it right over. So that is an unfortunate, really unfortunate way to end that race. I really wish that that didn't happen right there. I think we were setting up for a good finish, but unfortunate circumstances there. But Alex Bergeron will get his first win, and he will sweep the Williams Grove Speedway for all the World Championships this year.
Yeah, great try by Bergeron, picking up his first win here with the USAC wingless sprint cars. But definitely a great place for him, as he's very, very, very fast here at the Williams Grove Speedway. Has something figured out here for sure. But David Heilman, he was giving it everything he had. If we could had some green flag laps right there, it would have been very, very interesting to see for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And Randy, if you're with us, man, what was your take on that race, man? It looked like it was pretty crazy out there for those guys.
Yeah, that it definitely was. It was a very difficult race for these guys out there all night long. We saw easily the most difficult racetrack we've had all year, and just an unfortunate incident there at the end, kind of catching some people out, is going to end it here. But Alex Bergeron, I think he's going to be happy to finally pick up a win in this championship chase. He left, I think, probably thinks he left a little bit on the table from what happened to him at the season opener at Fairbury. Was never really in a position to pick up a win after that, but finally comes out here and puts in a dominant performance here at Williams Grove.
Yeah, definitely, and I believe that he's the only driver now that has won in all 3 World Championship Series. I know David Heilman's won with the wing on and he's won without the wing, but he was not one of the pro drivers in the late model series. So Alex Bergeron proving that he is just one of the most versatile drivers on this sim.
Yeah, he really is, and we've seen it for so long that he's as good as he is and can adapt to all these cars and all the racetracks. And I think what's really, indicative of this 14 car here, Chase, is that he really seems like, I think he's the best when the track gets hard to run and gets slick and slippery. It seems like whenever we get a track like that, no one has anything for the 14. Remember when we were out at Kokomo, him slipping and sliding down along the bottom with a couple of guys running through the field. But off of turn 3 and 4 here for the last time, he'll be picking up his first win in the USAC World Championship presented by Flow Racing.
Yeah, here comes Alex Bergeron off turn number 4 at a steady 35 miles per hour. He will get the checkered flag here at the world-famous Williams Grove Speedway. Second spot will go to the 49 car of David Heilman. Another great points night, another podium, the 7th one in a row for the 49 car of Heilman. Third spot from 14th up to 3rd, that's going to be Adam Elvey. Then it's going to be Joel Berkeley in the 4th spot, followed by Cole Cabray rounding out the top 5. Ryan Diotti, Alex Smolders, Joe Quinn, Skylar Brown, Lewis Hewitt will round out your top 10. And behind these guys, we'll have Justin Thomas, Josh Fox, Rusty Kruger, Bobby Sand Jr., James Tiernan, Aiden Perdue, Anthony LaPresto. A tough night for James Edens in 18th. Then it was Blake Cannon and Matt Howard will round out this 20-car field here tonight at the Williams Grove Speedway. Stay with us here in just a moment. We're going to have these guys get in here. We're going to interview with at least our top 3. And it sounds like, David Heilman has pulled out to over a 120-point lead unofficially. We'll have to get those points all dialed in here, but sounds like over a 120-point lead for Heilman entering next week's race at the Limeland Motorsports Park. So waiting for these guys to get in here, Randy and Tommy, and we'll start talking to them.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be an exciting conversation with Bergeron. He's going to be excited to pick up a win. Heilman, I think, is going to be more than happy if my quick potato math isn't that potato. He's going to be in a dominant position for this championship chase. 128 points is sort of my calculation at the moment. And that basically means that P2 in the points, which should be Alex Bergeron, is going to have to rein in a minimum of like 50 points next week in the penultimate round. And if he doesn't do that, David's got the championship wrapped up.
Yeah, it's going to be real tough. And I mean, David Heilman was super, super tough at Limeland earlier this year. And Bergeron, we've seen him run good, in the World of Outlaws, the late model series. He was very good there at the Limeland Motorsports Park. So anything can happen, as we've seen. And Tommy, David Heilman, he is just so consistent. He still has not had a bad night once.
Yeah, it's amazing that David Heilman's able to keep up the consistency that he has in this USAC World Championship Series. Like I said earlier, less than 8 drivers have more than 3 top 5 finishes on the season. David Heilman has finished in the top 3 in every single race thus far. It's been pretty incredible.
Definitely an incredible stat there, and now we are standing by with tonight's winner here at the Williams Grove Speedway, Alex Bergeron on the CSI Shocks number 14. Alex, you finally get the job done without the wing on the car. You have now won every single World Championship on the dirt stuff. A pretty incredible night for you, and a dominating one at that.
Oh, thank you. That was awesome. Absolutely awesome race. Seen a couple of yellows there at the end. Wish it would have went green there. We got, I think, a 3-second lead over Alleman. He's been running very good this season. To be that far away from him in the features, it's an outward for me. It's great to be riding this track, and I always loved this track, and finally put a win in this car for non-wing. It's awesome.
And we saw quite a drastic change there from that last B main to the feature event. We saw everyone in that last B main running up next to the wall in turns 3 and 4. First lap, we see almost the whole top 5 go to the bottom. Was it just the fact that it was so treacherous up there that incidents could happen so quickly? Is that why everyone went to the bottom, or was it just that good?
I really don't know. I didn't try to top in the race. I just tried that slider line to 1-2, and I decided to pick a lane, and hopefully, it would stick, and that's what it done. So, maybe if I would have run the bottom in the first lap, I would have get past, and be so tough to, get ahead again. So, I was kind of lucky for that, to have a good line to run, and but for the top, I guess it was treacherous to run up there. But that cushion here, when it gets further in the feature, is always very tough to run.
Well, I believe if our math is correct, that you will move into the second spot in this championship in these championship standings. And mathematically, I've been told that you are not out of the realm of actually winning the championship. So obviously, things have really got to go your way these next 2 weeks. So you got to have some good luck on your side, not only winning these races, but having David have some bad luck. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's racing. We never know what's going to happen. It's good for us to be in the second spot there. It's going to help us out if we ever get a chance to win a championship, which I think it's going to be impossible. But David is always fast, and it's been rare this season he had bad luck compared to us. So I'm sure he's going to do great, and second place for us will be great too after all what happened this season, ups and downs, and finally pull a win for us, team. If you are here, it's awesome.
Absolutely, man. So who do you got to thank for some of the sponsors on number 14 car?
First off, thanks CSI Chalks, Pit Logic. They support us greatly, and couldn't thank them enough for that. Nobi.com, BK Designs for all the iRacing paints, Smart Inc., all the other supporters, all the fans out there for cheering on us, and all the fans for watching tonight. iRacing.com and USAC for putting the series up, and my team, Team EBR, Jason Nygaard. We've been working a lot, and I'm kind of being discouraged about the series that has been so far. We had, like I said, ups and downs, and he just keeps he just tells me to keep going, and finally pull the win tonight. So I got to thank him for that. I got to thank my girlfriend as well for always supporting me into this, and all what she's doing for Team EBR. My dad for watching tonight, and you guys for broadcasting as always, doing an absolutely awesome job.
Well, that was Alex Bergeron, tonight's winner here at the Williams Grove Speedway for round number 7 of the USAC World Championship presented by FlowRacing.com. And now standing by with our second place finisher is Tommy Rowe.
All right, the Heilmaniac himself, Mr. David Heilman. David, you walk away with a second place finish here tonight. Not the finish that you wanted to see with a caution flag. Looked like you may have had something for him there at the end, bud.
Yeah, I was kind of just content on running around. I wasn't. Some laps I was gaining, they said. Some laps I wasn't running a really consistent line anywhere. I just kept trying to find like middle to bottom, middle all the way. But yeah, that first yellow came out, and I backed it into turn 1 perfectly, and such a good run on turn 2. I was like, oh crap, I really could have did something with him there. And I was like, all right, well, another yellow came out. All right, well, let's try it again. Didn't get it as good, but I was just far enough away from Alex where I was going to try to rip around the top, because some guy said that might have been fast. And then we got another yellow flag. So as happy as I am for second, there's always something that just leaves a little salt in my mouth.
Well, David, you've got a 128-point lead heading into the final 2 weeks over Alex Bergeron. We go back to the Bull Rings. You got Fairbury and Lima Land both coming up on the schedule. Lima Land next week, Fairbury the season finale. What are your thoughts and expectations going into the final 2 weeks, bud?
I think we just got to make the feature. We'll do some calculations and stuff, but yeah, it's pretty much just make the feature, and then hopefully we celebrate the rest of the night from there.
Well, David, great run by you here this evening. Another great, consistent run for you. Who gets it done for that 49 machine?
All guys back at Slick Sim Sport. Awaken Energy Gum, Two Brothers Stream Team. And I love Hugo Louis.
Well, David, congratulations on a great run by you here tonight, and best luck to you in the last 2 races, man.
Thanks, man. I love you too, Tommy.
All right, that's a Heilmaniac himself, Mr. David Heileman, your second place finisher here tonight. And I do believe Mr. Randy is standing by with our third place finisher, Mr. Adam Elby.
Yep, I'm stood by with the number 74 car of Adam Elby. And Adam, what a run for you. You started deep in this field in 14th, and we were following you. It felt like you were up there near the top 5 within about 5 or 6 laps. How was that hectic few laps driving through the field? I'm sure that had to be fun.
Yeah, we set our car up for the bottom. Wanted to be able to go anywhere, but it just knew the bottom would be a safe bet, and figured most people were going to run up top. So, if you could try and go where other people aren't, I feel like that's the best way you're going to pass some cars. So we did that, and it worked out pretty well. We got up to into 4th behind Joel pretty quickly, and just had to wait for him to make a mistake because he went down to the bottom, and it seemed like top 3 in front of me were also down there. So just kind of wait for him to make a mistake, and I think he missed it one time, and I hit it really good, and we were able to get by him and just held on to 3rd place for the rest of the race.
And talking about the fact that you guys went down to the bottom early, it was something, that we were talking about before the feature race started in the 3-minute warm-up, that we might see that line move down to the bottom. With how top-heavy it was in the C and the B, we were really expecting, at least at the start, guys being up there around the top side. What was it that you guys in the feature found that made you jump straight down to the bottom right at the get-go of the race? We were really expecting probably at least 5 or 10 laps of you guys rim riding with the way the LCQs were.
Well, for me, after biking up, going into 3 in the heat race, and then I was a little scared in the B main after that, just trying to hold the starting spot that I had as a transfer to get in the main event. After that, I was kind of done with the top. I figured I was going to pass any cars. It wasn't going to be following people up there, so I just, like I said, I tried it in practice. It felt pretty good. There's a lot of moisture down there, especially down the straightaways, so we just kind of, once you start 14th and you pass 10 cars in a few laps at the beginning of the race, you're not going to really move up. I tried the top a little bit, and it just felt like such a long way around the track, and it didn't really seem beneficial. So not sure. It looked like Bergeron up there was making it work, maybe the slider line, but he's got clean air out there, and trying to run somebody down is a little different. So it was definitely better that we stayed down there.
Limeland and Fowles coming up next. How do you feel about the last 2 rounds of the championship?
Limeland felt really good. We're feeling really good. We're battling for second the first round, and Lean already caught a tire, and that was unfortunate and ended our race. And Falls, we also ran, I think, 4th or 5th the first week out, so hoping we could finish off this season strong. We had, hate to say we had bad luck, but a few things that happened. It all comes down to me and performing when I need to, and it definitely didn't help my case a lot of times. So definitely two little bull rings. I think that we're gonna be really good at. That's my kind of style right there. So we're looking forward to finishing off the season strong.
Before we let you go, who gets it done for that number 74 Swindell Speed Labs Esports Sprint Car?
I got to thank all my guys over at Speed Lab, obviously. They give me a great car and make my job really easy, or easier, I should say. And then I got to thank our sponsors and partners, Bell Helmets, Wise Organics, South Bay Partners, and I also got to thank Flo for coming together, and USAC with iRacing, and you guys for all putting this on, and all the fans watching. We can't thank all those guys enough out there that watch and give us a platform to do this.
There was Adam Elby comes home in the 3rd place finishing position tonight, rounding out your podium. P4 is going to go to the Australian of Joel Berkeley, and Chase Rodman has stood by with the 9.
Yeah, Joel Berkeley, a guy that we know that definitely makes some wild maneuvers out there on the racetrack sometimes, and tonight was no shortage of that. Joel, you come home in the 4th spot here tonight, and it just looked like your car might not have been set up just right for to end up in the top 3 there. You kind of fell behind those top 3 guys and just kind of looked like you settled for that 4th spot. What was your car missing here tonight?
Probably a driver was missing, so if anyone wants to sign up, they can be my guest.
I might know a couple guys.
But otherwise, it was just more got a decent qualifying, got a good heat run, and fell to 4th, and I was like, I'll just accept it. And I think I had something at the end there, not had something for the win, but I think I had something for maybe Adam for the 3rd there. But yeah, we had a pretty bad last 10 laps.
Well, you've moved ever so closer to James Edens for that 3rd spot. It's really actually a really close battle between you, him, and Cole Cabre, our 5th place finisher here tonight. You guys are all separated by about 24 points for that 3rd spot, which pays a cool $1,000. So looks like you really need to get your head down and dig in here these next 2 weeks to try and grab that spot there.
Yeah, for sure. I was running pretty decent before Knoxville, and I had a few errors at Knoxville and didn't make the feature. And then last week, a bit unfortunate, but throw me behind the 8 ball in points. But hopefully it's a couple tracks that we go good at next couple of weeks, and maybe, who knows, might be able to have a crack at 3rd, maybe 2nd, but it all depends. These cars are all open. You really need to qualify decent to have a good run these days, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So who are some of the guys you got to thank that sponsor that number 9 car?
I've got to remember these. It's been a while, but massive thanks to the guys at Slick Sim Sports, David, Zach, Lewis for all their help when they're on, or when we're running laps. Ryan Martin, Two Brothers Stream Team, down to graphics and everyone else. I think that's all. I don't know. I think that's everyone.
Well, a great run for Joel Berkeley tonight. He ends up in the 4th spot, and in 5th here, rounding out our top 5, is Cole Cabre, and I believe he's standing by with Tommy.
All right, Cole, great top 5 finish for you here tonight. Started 8th, ran the top 5. Looks like you're running top shelf in your heat race, and went to the bottom early on in the main event. Were you expecting that, man?
I really don't like running the bottom, so I was hoping not to. But I kind of figured it was going to go down there to the bottom for a little bit, and once enough cars started running it, we would ended up back up on the top, or at least I was. So yeah.
Hey, you had a great drive right there. Great battles with Ryan Diatti in the 57, as well as Bobby Sant Jr. in the 131 before he had issues. What was it like running out there?
Oh, it was like running on ice. You just had to have a lot of throttle control there. It was really hard trying to find that perfect line around the bottom, trying to keep it against the wall. Many guys up front know how to do that very well. So, it's just hard running down there, and with the guys that fast, you just had to hit it perfect every lap.
Talk about the final 2 races. You currently sit 22 points behind James Edens for position number 3 in the point standings. $1,000 to 3rd in the points, $500 iRacing credits going to 4th. How do you prepare for the final 2 races?
I just got to put my time and effort in. Last couple weeks I struggled with that, and it showed in my results. And apologize to my Swindell Speed Lab team for that. And I just haven't put in enough time. But this week, I mean, it showed, and I ended up with a P5 finish. So we'll just have to keep on that track.
Well, great drive by you here tonight with a great top 5 finish. Who helps you get it done on that 12 machine?
Swindell Speed Lab, you guys, iRacing. We wouldn't be doing this without them. Everyone that just comes out and supports the broadcast, everyone.
Well, Cole, congratulations on your 5th place run here tonight, and best of luck to you in the last 2 races, man.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Cole Gray, your position number 5 winner here tonight. And Chase, what an eventful evening we've had here at Williams Grove.
Yeah, we've seen some of the wildest accidents I think we've seen all year long, and most of them have to do with Cole Newhoffman, who went out of the ballpark a record 2 times here tonight, Randy. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, it's always it's an exciting night at the baseball park whenever someone clears the fence twice in the same night. But Cole Newhoffman doing it in the sprint car twice in one night, that's definitely not a night he's going to want to remember. But we're going to take a look at these point standings, and my mathematics that were happening during the feature race were correct. And David Heilemann right now, Chase, 128 points clear of Alex Bergeron, who has slotted himself second in the points after tonight. James Edens, after a terrible feature, he comes home 18th. He cycles all the way down in towards third, only about 18 or so points ahead there of Cole Cabré. And David's in a dominant position right now. Alex is not technically mathematically eliminated. 84 points on offer a night, 168 is the max. But Alex really needs to pray that David basically gets, a point or 2 and doesn't make the feature almost these next 2 races in a row to have any hope.
Yeah, I'm really starting to think there's no hope, and it sounded like Alex wasn't too confident in those circumstances either. So, I mean, it's kind of funny, though. I mean, Bergeron in the wing sprint car deal, this was who we were talking about, that he had the huge lead. He was way ahead of David Heilemann. I think Heilemann ended up third in the points. I'm not 100% unsure on that one, but now it's kind of roles reversed. It's Heilemann with a huge lead and Bergeron trying to track him down. So Alex has been in a couple different, he's worn a couple different hats here, not only tonight, but throughout this whole season.
And talking, Tommy, about these last couple races we have coming up, we head to Limaland for the second time in this championship, heading to the penultimate race. And these quarter-mile bull rings have put on some great racing. We saw some good racing tonight, but it's been a boring, dominated season, and we've seen these quarter-mile tracks just be good to these non-wing sprint cars all year. The Limaland race was great, and I think we're going to have another awesome run for the second iteration of it next week.
Yeah, last time we were at Limaland, we saw, pretty much the run of the Hilo Maniac as he ripped off 3 wins in a row. It started with Limaland and ripped on to Kokomo as well. But, David Heilemann very strong at them bull rings, and he'll look to capitalize and close out the championship maybe next week if he can have another great run.
That's going to be the big question that gets answered, is can the 49 and David Heilemann keep up his streak and cap off the championship at the Limaland Motorsports Park? All he has to do pretty much is make the feature, and he's got the championship wrapped up. But that is going to do it for us here on RaceSpot TV and on the iRacing Esports Network. And we got to give huge thanks to all the sponsors and all the supporters that make this possible. Huge thanks goes out to USAC as well as Flow Racing for making this possible. Huge thanks to you for making us a part of your Wednesday evenings as well, and we hope to see you tuning in next week out at Limaland. But until then, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.